Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. A friend of William's told the Daily Beast, "I think William is particularly grateful things are so good now because it's fair to say the relationship between William and his father when he was younger was strained. William and Harry had an extraordinary upbringing with the trauma of their mother's death overshadowing everything. Charles was this old-fashioned, quite distant figure who seemed much more interested in work and duty and what the press thought of him than parenting. That forged an incredibly strong bond between Harry and William, which was why it was such a shock when Harry turned on him so publicly. The Harry debacle definitely drew them together, but since Charles became king and he became Prince of Wales, the relationship has moved to a different level. Charles values William's support. They are closer now than they have ever been. William doesn't want to see Harry because he thinks it would all just be put in the next book or TV interview, which is what happened this time, but he is entirely relaxed about his father meeting with his son. They both agree there is no prospect of Harry returning to represent the royal family, despite what Harry may want, and that is the important thing as far as William is concerned. Royal expert Tom Quinn told The Mirror, even if Harry was allowed back temporarily, his wife would not be part of the package. Harry will not move back to the UK without Meghan, not even for a few months, but he had to make the offer because anything else would have looked callous and uncaring. Harry knows he will never be allowed to be a permanent part-time working royal, staying 6 months in the States and then 6 months in the UK. The family no longer trusts him, and besides, Meghan is absolutely against it. There is far too much bad blood now for it to even be a remote possibility. Royal expert Jenny Bond explained to Times Radio, "I've always held the view that the late Queen and Palace were quite harsh when they put down this red line, you can't be half in, half out. I think in a modern, evolving monarchy, perhaps a way could have been found to incorporate what they wanted, which was, we thought, some privacy at least, to not always being on show. With the royal role, what became so tricky was that they wanted to be financially independent, which means commercial, which means a conflict of interest. But I think they were a bit hasty in the palace saying absolutely no. William's word wields great power, as it should. He's the heir to the throne. And I'm afraid all that's been going on since the Sussexes left the firm, the bricks, the accusations, the hurt, the pain, the rift is too deep now between William and Harry, and I think William has more or less blotted Harry out of his mind." According to a report by the National Enquirer, a royal source has claimed Her Majesty, for clarity meaning Camilla, was livid that Harry jetted in from his upscale California residence without securing palace consent, arriving with a chip on his shoulder. The insider continued, "Camilla was incensed. After enduring Harry's criticism for years, she was eager to confront him. The Queen was frustrated with Harry exploiting her husband's cancer diagnosis to craft a doting son public image." The journey towards reconciliation among Harry, William and Charles might extend over several years, despite potential initial steps being made, as discussed in a recent episode of Newsweek's The Royal Report podcast. Despite Harry's optimistic stance and his latest trip to Britain to see King Charles post-cancer diagnosis, Newsweek's chief royal correspondent Jack Royston emphasized, "Charles and William, I'm sure, will view Harry as having persistently betrayed them on multiple occasions over several years, including during times of grief, such as when Prince Philip died or when the Queen died. So obviously they're not going to just completely forget all of that straight away and go from open warfare 1 minute to innate implicit trust the next. But none of that means that Harry's olive branch is an error or a mistake. I think this is not a situation that's going to be healed overnight and is one that is going to require persistence over a long period of time. I think he's going to have to pursue this path of reconciliation, maybe even for years, before the family are even willing to entertain the idea of actually trusting him again and opening up and kind of telling secrets and things like that. They need to see with their own eyes that the things they tell him do not end up on Netflix or in a book or on a podcast. Particularly Prince William. I think it's going to take years before he would ever trust Harry again. They obviously had a conversation after Prince Philip's funeral when they spoke privately, and it wound up in Harry's book, and Harry kind of divulged what William and Charles had shared in the immediate aftermath of Prince Philip's funeral. So, after something like that has happened, it's going to be a long way back to reconciling again. Palace Intrigue will be right back. The media void left by Kate Middleton continues to rear its ugly head, with The Mirror resorting to covering Prince Edward playing table tennis at a youth centre. They report Edward was dressed casually in an open-collar shirt paired with a double-breasted blazer. Not quite the article we would have gotten had a sporty Kate played ping-pong. Meghan is reportedly setting her sights on becoming America's next lifestyle maven, rivaling established figures like Ina Garten, Martha Stewart, and Joanna Gaines. With her current Netflix contract expiring in 2025, insiders suggest that there's little chance of renewal. Some expect Meghan to pivot towards lifestyle entrepreneurship, drawing inspiration from her pre-royal days as the curator of the Tig blog. Despite working on various projects with Netflix, such as film adaptation and a potential Africa documentary with Harry, Meghan's focus seems to be on crafting her niche in the lifestyle domain. Industry insiders speculate Meghan will channel her admiration for figures like Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow into a lifestyle brand, drawing from her experiences and the influence of her network, including fashion designer Claire Wright Keller and entrepreneur Victoria Jackson. Meghan's engagement with community and culinary projects like the Afghan Cooking Evening and the Grenfell Cookbook underscores her passion for food and community, hinting at her potential direction post-Netflix. However, success in the lifestyle sector demands authenticity and a willingness to share personal insights, a challenge Meghan must navigate to resonate with audiences. The privacy-minded Meghan was seen dining at Enacebo restaurant in Studio City, Los Angeles, Thursday evening after eating lunch at Cipriani, Beverly Hills earlier in the day. Meghan was observed in high spirits as she departed from a professional engagement with Terry Wood, a leading figure at Oprah Winfrey's Harpo Productions. Terry Wood has a notable portfolio, having produced Oprah's series focusing on mental health, The Me You Can't See, a project Prince Harry was involved in. Additionally, Wood played a significant role in the production of Harry and Meghan's revealing interview with Oprah, which aired following their departure from the royal family. We're told Meghan wore a casual outfit of grey skinny jeans and a matching sweater paired with flats and a bag valued at $3,670. To keep warm, a Max Mara Lilia cashmere coat, which might run you $6,250. Recently in Vancouver, Page 6 adds, Meghan accessorized with about $40,000 worth of diamond jewelry. Harry sported a classic navy blue suit with a black tie. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or your app of choice. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.